Boo boo.
I don't even see the video. That's how bad my computer is.
Cha 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 cha.
Oh, we're at 3. Holy crap, I see it.
Still not.
Did I cut it? Did I not? I thought it went to the end. It showed me. I don't know.
It went to the next one. Yeah.
You're in your second one.
Well, I went to the second one. I just heard culture kind of sigh. I was scared I missed out or something. Am I robotic right now? Because that's usually what happens.
No, everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Now
Welcome
black.
to the Bumpy Dog. Hey, Jayne.
Yeah, we hit the black screen, dude.
It is not black, guys. It is divulge of color.
Wow.
That is what this screen is.
Color, right?
Announce it.
That's all color.
Denounce this color, everybody, because I want to say this is the Humpty Dump where people can come together of all walks of life and discuss things like adults. And that's what I love, because if you just caught us backstage, that was quite interesting what we were discussing. And I actually appreciate everybody's honesty. I just hope we could be honest live to make money, because green is the only color I care about, my friends. Green. How is everybody tonight? Let's say hello to our panel. First, we have the fantastically intelligent Jayne Theory.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. It is weird when you don't do the hey guys, but I'm okay with that. No, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Nick McCabe is in the house, one half of the McCabe brothers, and I don't see Sam, so the more attractive McCabe brother.
Back trouble.
What? Say that one more time. He's having Wi-Fi trouble?
No, he's having a little bit of back trouble.
Oh,
So
no.
he can't be sitting in one place for too long. So, yeah,
Oh, crap, that
he's
sucks.
just going to be catching up on some reading and all that sort of stuff.
Well, let him know we miss him and we
Will
love
do.
him. All right, and we have E-Tep. What a bing bang. The people's champ. How are you, my friend?
The Fandom Menace People's Champion. I'm excellent, brother. How are you, man? Thanks for having me on again. I'm not going to go through the whole spiel. I'm going to save that one for later. But it is
All
good
right.
to be here. It is good to be here, brother. Thank you.
I always appreciate you stopping in before your show, so thank you, my friend.
Happy to be here, man.
All right. And, of course, the author of the Fandom Menace, Stephen Walton.
I'm happy to be here with the Fandom Menace People's Champ and Culture Casino's rotating balls.
Rotating. Let's check those rotating balls out. It is Culture Casino and his rotating balls.
Hey, I have all 16 of us up here. That's all I have to say about that, including author
I
Steve.
can't believe you kind of block me, though. Your right shoulder blocks me completely. You know, one of the founding members of the Rogue Entertainment and I believe the Fourth Wave. And I see, Final J-Star's big mug up there. But yeah, okay.
Oh, I can solve that problem for you, Scott. Here, there you go. So anyway, yeah, I'm Culture Casino. I have a YouTube channel. And if you aren't subscribed to me, could you please? It'd be great. Thanks. And
All
thanks for
right.
being here.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. Let's say hello to some people. Some of my favorite people I'm seeing tonight. We have the Outlaw himself, Adega Outlaw, saying, good evening, all. Great channel, has a great show with 14 Barber on Saturdays that I've been missing live, but I always try to go back and watch. It is a really fun show about kind of like what Finaldeathstar does, about ancient civilizations and just different spooky things in the world. So please check that out. We have the Memes of Destruction, a very smart man and YouTube content creator himself. We have Krista Joe. How are you? And heyo, I'm glad you are here. We have The Bone. I'm old, so I put the in front of everything. What up, Memes? Yeah, don't say hi to me, Bone. Whatever.
Do you call it the Walmart?
I call it the Walmart, the Facebook.
God.
Yeah. Someone pointed out to me because there's a show called Traveler. I put The Traveler. So yeah, that's me. I hit 45 this past week. So, that's how it rolls.
Yeah,
Old
you
man.
are.
Old man.
I am old. I am old.
Hey, wait a minute. Scott, is Friday the...
Oh, no. We have an update. We have an update. I'll let you know. Hold on. But Parrot Head is here. Parrot Head is here. Makini90 is sitting in the chat. My brother from definitely another mother, because we're not the same color. But we could be maybe from the same mother, different fathers.
It just depends on the lighting.
I guess so. He's a beautiful man, though.
Wow.
Okay, I denounce white supremacy.
There
Who
he
else
goes,
is up in
robot.
this piece? We have
Up in this piece.
Cavatino. Yeah, thank God. Up in this piece, I said. Cavatino Shea. Too much Walton's premium buttercream made the opening slippery. He is so right. Roof Korean is bound for the gulag. Spork 3PO. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sorry you lost. I didn't lose my balls yet, man. God. I still got him, and I'm always going to have them. Lord Vader up in the house. That is awesome. Lord Vader, good to see you. Shane G is a member. I didn't even know this. When did that happen? No, just kidding. Thank you, Shane D. I got to add you to our final clip. And you guys are going to have some colorful sporks as your logos. So I'm really happy to see that. Emotionally unstable amphibian. Steven is in the house with a great channel. Please check him out. And God, that's it for now. Anybody else that comes in, you're late. Okay, you're late. So, friends, lend me
Like your doctor's
ear.
appointment.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so Culture Casino. Yes, I still have my testes. Yes, I'm not getting singed on Friday. They called me up. This is what scared me. They called me up and said, the doctor has an emergency procedure he needs to take care of for some other person on Friday. Granted, they called me like a couple days ago. So we're going to have to reschedule you to February 12th, which is like 2 days before, Valentine's Day, which is perfect to get, a vasectomy. But
So is that making you more nervous now that you have to wait?
No, what makes me more nervous is what went wrong, that you have some special surgery you have to do and bump me out of my position. Did he screw up somebody's nuts?
Yeah, that could very well be it.
He's got to go back and clean a mess
You
up.
should see if he's been sued.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
Is this an
that's why
erectile
Jayne-
dysfunction problem that he has to go correct?
Because I'm telling you right now, if my boy don't work after this, I will cry. I'll have to call you, Steven, and ask you how it feels. I'm very, very worried. Subhuman 84. What's up, people? Crazy Eye Jedi. I have not seen you in a while, my friend. Good to see you up in here with a $5 super chat. 45 was 14 years ago. And if I'm not old, you just be the youngster. That's great. That's great. Thank you, brother. Thank you. So how is everybody this fine evening? Anything going on? How's everybody doing? Panel, how are you?
That was great. Good job, guys. Yeah, I'm fine.
Thanks, Steven. Thanks for not dropping the ball, Steven.
Yeah, no problem. Just looking around. Just
This is waiting for everybody else to go.
yeah,
I'm excellent.
I mean, let's jump in with something great. I'm feeling great, Scotty. Feeling pretty good, man. Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, man. How do you guys? Oh, wait, real quick, Makini with a $5 super chat. So we got to get this one. The doctor had to reschedule for a special surgery for Walton's best brew.
I don't even know what that means, Mac. Like,
I do.
What would that entail? What?
I do. And
Really?
what that entails is that you have been opened so wide, he's going to try to bring it back together with a couple stitches, like after birth.
That's gross.
That is so gross. What is
I was waiting
wrong
for
with
Culture
you?
to come through with some kind of ignorant comment, but he dropped the ball on that one. 1, 2.
Yeah, nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Wow. What is
I'm
wrong
even
with
sitting
you
back
guys?
and waiting for him.
You know what? Let's just do this because you guys suck. I got to bring in another Australian by the name of Lethal Lightning. Welcome, Lethal Lightning, to the panel.
G'day. How we doing, everyone?
there,
What's up,
Lethal?
Lethal?
Hello, mate.
What's up?
What's up,
Hey.
Lethal?
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing
Wow,
well.
man.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you? What's up?
What porn star are you interviewing this week?
I actually can't tell you that.
Oh,
Oh, You piqued my interest. That's not good. You
Yeah, well, you better
And
peak
not
that
this
interest.
week.
Peak that
Not
interest
this
before you
weekend.
get your nuts cut off.
And it's not this weekend, but there is one.
Good. Yeah, Lethal, did you know that Scott's losing his testicles? He's
I'm not losing
Getting rid
them.
of his
They're going to
manhood.
still be there.
and then the doctor said he had to wait another week to have them cut off. I feel
Look,
kind of
Lethal,
bad for him if it wasn't so funny.
let's
I'm
just
sure
put
you
it
can
out
find
there.
someone to do it now.
Yeah.
Well, that's what scares me. Lethal, I'm very fertile, so it's time that the boys get a little singe up in there. Okay? Okay. I don't need to breed anymore. I'm 45. Don't need any more kids. I love my kids. They're great. But man, I have no hair. You all know this. And that's why these damn children.
I don't know. That's not an argument for manhood, brother. But yeah.
No, it's the argument for manhood is that I am fine with my manhood, that I don't mind singeing my balls. That's still not a good argument. Shut up, Steven. Just shut up.
How does Jayne feel about this repulsive talk?
Oh, I just ignore it.
She muted us a long time ago. Took her headphones
She
out.
ignores us all the time.
Yeah.
She's really good at it.
I'm editing.
She is
a video
really
in the
good at it.
background.
I'm editing a video. The hell, screw you guys.
Wookiee supremacy up in the house. Raging Rhino in the chat. Raging, if you want to jump on, we'll throw you a link. Just let us know. All right. So, how do you guys feel about the sequel trilogies? I know some of you are fine lovers of it.
Of what?
Of the sequel trilogies. You're a big
I
one.
told you that.
My favorite part is Force Skype. I was like, hey, give me a lightsaber, boo. Oh, look, there it is, Force Skype from across the fucking galaxy. Woohoo! That's good writing, Jar Jar.
Yeah, I think, you know what? Honestly, I'm about 1 year behind Lethal on all this. I had hope there for a minute, but now I don't give a shit anymore. So that's Star Wars. I don't even care.
I've thrown out pretty much all my Star Wars stuff, so I've just completely moved on.
Is that sad or what, though, man? Come on.
What in the heck? Yo,
Oh, God.
What in the world?
what is in my face?
Sweet baby Jesus, help me, Rhonda.
What is that? That is Walton's best. Oh, my God. There's a picture of the sphincter.
Culture,
I did not see that until we blew it up.
Is this how you spend your free time?
That's frightening. Not as frightening as Walton's best. Oh, here we go again.
God
That is
fucking help me.
authors-
I should have started
Well, let
interviewing
me-
fucking porn stars. That's what I should have said.
Steven-
Lethal fuck. What?
Stephen, let me read it, though, for you. I don't know if you can read it.
Yeah.
Author Stephen Walton's vanilla-scented ball soak, which I may need after the vasectomy, enema aftercare. Why does your ball... Can I ask why your balls need to soak after an enema aftercare? Like, I'm very confused by that.
This is propaganda and misinformation perpetuated by people who hate me. I don't know what I don't know what that is.
You sure?
It's all done out of love. It's all done out of love.
It's all love. Eat that. Thanks, bro.
It's tough love, man.
Thanks
It's
for
tough
sticking up.
love. It's like hazing. You just
Oh,
gotta make
wait a
it through
minute. I
the
just
first
saw
part.
something.
You just gotta make it through. You just gotta make it through rush week, man.
What is
Why
that
is-
on your left shoulder? What is that on your left shoulder there, Culture Casino?
Wait, dude, you need to put your face behind one of us and start talking.
Are they? Can you do it no other direction?
Oh my God!
Can you
Come
move-
on,
I don't
move
think.
on.
Can you put Scott's balls on your face? Can you do that?
Here, this is for all you memers out there.
And now we know why you're thinking about ball soaks.
Oh Lord.
Scott, how do you feel about your balls being on Culture's face?
Well, you know what? He does have lovely lip and hair.
Lovely lip and hair. Lethal, aren't you
Oh,
happy
right.
you came on tonight?
Welcome, Lisa.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was walking into. We're talking about sphincters and ball sacks and Star Wars. I
Yeah.
like two of those
Nah.
things, I guess.
Well, Disney Star Wars is butt sex, man. You know.
Well, look at the time.
I'm gonna go.
Start my show about 40 minutes early tonight.
Hey, all four people will be upset if you started early and they're not there.
I know, man.
Oh,
God,
Actually,
there's my girl. I need to start my Wazy art. Oh my God.
All right, you want me to read this train wreck?
Now, can
Okay.
you just leave her up there for a minute? Thanks.
coming soon
Is
to
it up?
Tumblr,
I
Stephen
can't
Walton
even
and
tell if
Ray.
it's up yet.
New
So,
Star
Skip
Wars.
Lightning.
We know.
In about 3
Yeah.
weeks, I'm getting a new computer. But right now, I am so far behind you guys. It sucks. So thank you for coming on when my computer sucks.
It's up now, Scott.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Am I still
Unlike
seeing
you in about
guys?
2 weeks, apparently. But anyway.
Right.
Oh, I fucking hate you people. I fucking hate
New
you
Star
people.
Wars rumor claims Lucasfilm working on remaking the sequel trilogy. This is from John F. Trett over at Bounding Into Comics. This story is only 1 day old. So are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit, but let's go.
Oh, it's big bullshit.
They could easily make an animated version of it.
Like they made an animated version of the original? That was
Well, God,
terrible.
I hope
So
not.
wait a minute.
But
What are you saying, Steven, that Doomcock is a liar?
I'm saying I just don't believe
You all heard it here
That's what I'm
first.
saying.
You all heard it here first.
He said take it with a grain of salt. He said it was a rumor. I love Doomcock. But I just don't know about this.
Yeah.
I just think
And-
if they do it, it won't be live action. It would
So
just
you really think it'll be a cartoon?
yeah,
It'll be a
animation.
pop-up
they're
book.
doing that. They would do something like that.
Steven, someone's here to talk to you.
Oh shit.
Author Stephen Walton. It is time. The future ruler of Earth, Victor Van Doomcock.
God, Doomcock,
Yeah,
I'm glad you weren't here when Scott's balls were on Culture's face. That was,
It's
that
almost
was a
like
bad
we
moment.
planned this.
That's
Almost
about
like we
what
planned
I'd expect from this crowd.
it. That's true.
Yeah, Lord Vader, you're right. Take it with a grain of salt. But you know what? A lot of the things that Doomcock says, he prefaces by "take it with a grain of salt," and it turns out to be true. So that's,
Well, yeah,
that's
we're-
another way of saying that.
We're kind of in the rumor game, People have reached out to me, not much, but I mean, it's what it is, Like I don't think he would have said something unless he thought it was interesting to speak on. I just no, I don't. It's they don't care over there, Kennedy's still there. They don't care. It's
Star Wars, talking about Star Wars.
yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I'm gonna be quiet now. You can go ahead. You can read culture. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
A brand new rumor claims that people at Lucasfilm are considering remaking the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The rumor comes from YouTuber Doomcock. I don't know why he forgot words there, but hey, here we go.
Don't edit it. Okay, go ahead.
Do you want me to reread it? Because that was
No.
Yeah, you got to read it. How it's written. The
the
rumor,
rumor comes. Okay. The rumor comes. YouTuber Doomcock.
And it's it's Dumock first off, and they're
Dumock.
talking about him coming, and they didn't even spell his name right. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah. Doomcock claims while Favreau and Filoni are working to erase the sequel trilogy entirely, others at Disney are considering remaking the sequel trilogy. He then details the sequel trilogy would be remade exclusively for Disney Plus, according to my source, with a story being spread out between 8-10 miniseries. What the fuck? Okay.
Come on, man. You can do it. Get through it. Fucking force your way through it.
With a story being spread out between 8, I'm going to say the word 2, even though it's a hyphen, 10 miniseries. There's going to be 8 to 10 miniseries? What the fuck?
Jesus.
And 3 seasons of full series.
You got to get as much fucking blue milk out of that tit as you could possibly get, so they can get as much as they
8 to
fucking
10 miniseries.
squeeze out of it.
They probably mean 8 to 10 episodes.
Oh, okay. But that's,
Yeah, that would make
wow.
more sense.
Holy, yeah. 'Cause
No, I
damn.
doubt that.
8 to 10 episodes per season.
Okay. All right. And three seasons of full series. Full series of what?
Of stuff.
Stuff and things.
Season 1 would present The Force Awakens 2.0. Season 2 would be The Last Jedi 2.0. And you don't start a sentence with the word and. Season 3 would be The Rise of Skywalker 3.0, he explains. Doomcock continues.
3.0?
My source. Say again.
3.0?
The
Yeah, why
Rise-
not? Why not, Jane?
Are they counting the novelization as one?
Probably, or you realize there are 500 books you have to read to make any of this shit make sense. So. So maybe, but anyway, yeah, Skywalker 3.0 is fucking bananas. But hey, let's keep going. Doomcock continues. My source claims that while they will only change a little of The Force Awakens so as to reuse the Leia footage, he says they will most likely add one major thing: a reunion of Han, Luke, and Leia. At this point,
Definitely. Wait a minute, real quick though. It definitely would then, if you do CGI, that's disgusting. So it's gonna have to be like Jayne said. It would have to be animated, but they'll probably try to use CGI.
Apparently, well, it'll probably say it in the article, but because I'll watch the video. Apparently, there were shots that were done with the three of them for TFA that weren't used.
So they had the shots and threw them out?
Yeah.
They didn't use them?
That's
Apparently.
it.
So they had a better movie and just said, I'm going to cut that. I'm gonna do something worse. Wow.
Consider this, Jayne. I mean, every time Trevorrow went to write a script, he said, I can't keep Luke from dominating, such is why they completely cucked the shit out of him. So, I mean, I don't want to go there other than to say that, it was willful in what they did, because they literally, in order to make him not take over the films, because he is the primary character in Star Wars, they had to destroy him.
Yeah, but it's easy though. It's all they had to do was, make powerful students of his.
Right.
Yeah.
And then him sacrifice himself at one point, or be in a position where he couldn't do anything, and then let the new ones.
You
could have used
the first movie. Could have been as powerful as you wanted him to be, and then, like you said, let him sacrifice himself at some point, maybe in the next film, and then the kids took it over.
At the very least, give him an honorable death.
No. You got to suck some blue milk, buddy. That's what you got to do.
Well, look, no, I think Jayne's right. I think you take the first film, you introduce Rey and Finn as both Force sensitive, right? They finally make their way to Luke, get a little bit of training before he has to sacrifice himself at the school to protect them and the other folks that are, there, right? The other students. And so they kind of all end up in a position where they have to defend themselves going forward in the next two films, and they come together in a unique way. There was opportunities missed. Okay.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'm fine. Or you have Luke go and see Scott's doctor, and then it's explained.
Yeah. He's busy cutting people up and screwing it up, I guess. So, yeah. How do you feel about it, Lethal Lightning, our guest from Down Under? Okay, good stuff.
Talk.
Next.
At this point, I want to be very clear about what this means. My source is not talking about some CGI stunt here. My source is claiming that footage exists right now of Han, Luke, and Leia together. Now,
so is this just a transcript of his video?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Paid by the word, Jayne. Paid by the word.
Now, my Hollywood spies have heard rumors that this footage exists before, but they were never able to get any details about it until now. Yeah, I'm adding words, guys, because otherwise I'm gonna go bananas.
No. You've got to read it the way it's written, Culture.
No.
Yeah, show some respect to the author.
Exactly.
He then adds, we asked this source if the footage takes place on the Millennium Falcon, but the source said no. This footage was shot on green screen. It is a 10-minute scene, but aside from that, my source said they have no idea what happens in that scene and have no idea how Lucasfilm would work that footage into any reboot.
Probably, well, no, I don't know what that would be.
It would take some major creativity, and they're bereft of that.
Can we just one more time go back to the idea that they had this footage? They had it, and they never used it. Not even, I can't, not even like a flashback to some, I don't know, like what they could have made them all Force ghosts next to each other at the end of the movie. Or I guess you can't make Han a Force ghost, but goddamn it, they screwed everything else up. Why not just make him a Force ghost? They did make him. No, he was a vision.
Oh,
That was all Leia. So she died afterwards.
they could put it
'Cause
in
it was-
the credits or something. I don't know.
Yeah, all of this is garbage.
This is all, yeah, exactly, garbage.
Later, Doomcock would reveal information about what the Last Jedi 2.0 remake would look like. He explains, as far as the Last Jedi 2.0 goes, my source claims that Disney would rename the second series. In it, Leia would die when she got sucked out into space, losing the ridiculous Mary Poppins flying sequence. And the rest of the series would be completely different.
Yeah, if they don't... Sorry.
The same goes for the Rise of Skywalker. It would be 100% different as well.
Yeah, if they don't bring Akbar back and give him some kind of a decent anything, I'll be a little pissed. All right.
There were 2 sentences that started with the word "and."
Yes, it's a trap.
It's a trap. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know what a trap is. Doomcock then claims that Mark Hamill would be open to returning to make this alleged remake. The YouTuber states, my source claims that as long as Kathleen Kennedy is not involved in this reboot, and so long as he is in good health, Mark Hamill is open to coming back and giving Luke Skywalker a fitting ending.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that after 2 years of seeing Mark Hamill on Twitter. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to shut up.
I mean,
It would be better, yeah. He then asserts, after the massive fan response to The Mandalorian Season 2 finale and the return of Luke Skywalker, it's finally clear to Disney what fans have known all along. Luke Skywalker is Star Wars. The future ruler of Earth adds, the only question in the minds of Disney executives is, what's the best way forward? How can Star Wars be saved? This debate is why they are considering remaking the sequel trilogy on Disney Plus.
It can't be. It can't be. Too much damage has been done to the brand, in my opinion.
I mean, if they redo it and it's better.
Well, what do you think, Nick?
I mean, they're going to have to decanonize it, right?
Well, okay, what they're talking about doing is using that world between worlds with Ahsoka, and that's the only thing that gives me a little bit of credibility in this story is because, the Filoni, he loves his Ahsoka. So if he can fix everything using that, then I think he will. But I don't know. I don't trust him. But we'll see. As a creator, I like some of the things that he's done. I just don't like him. I'm sorry to be a downer, guys. It's just look at all the stuff that we've had to deal with over the last several years from these people. Look at all the shit that's been thrown at us. Look at the freaking hate mobs they've generated. Look at how they treat us. Look at how they try and separate us. Look at how hyper politicized they've made everything. Something that was once made for all of us. I don't have any faith in it. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to be quiet.
I don't either, but I do think that I think you're right, but I also think that all they care about is green. So it's not the first time they've remade something. They're just doing it faster. They remake all of their properties.
You're right. They do. They do.
Nick, what do you think?
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think there are too many egos involved.
Yeah.
No, they're not. Kathleen Kennedy is not going to destroy her baby.
No, she can't be there if they're going to do this. I can't imagine her being there.
She's going to have to be well out of the damn picture.
Yep.
You tell them, Nick.
I was going to say, for optics' sake, they can't fire her. She's going to leave of her own accord, because in this day and age, if you fire a woman in that position of power, unless she is like committing gross misconduct, which I mean, in normal work circumstances, if you go over your boss's head and green light a multi-million-dollar project, I mean, I'm sure there's some consequences and repercussions you have to deal with. But when you're the famous coffee fetcher Kathleen Kennedy, you can just go ahead and name Harvey Weinstein's acolyte and give her a show called Acolyte and just say, hey, Bob, screw you.
Imagine a world where we're all treated equally. And if you failed as much as this woman has failed in bringing together a fandom that was vibrant and then, dissecting it and doing what she's done and then producing what, all but one thing so far has been good or decent at least. If there was a man in that position, they'd have been fired by now. That's how
I've said it before. It should be. This is sort of going off on a bit of a tangent, and I've probably said this 100 times by now. But it should be marketing 101. Do not slag off your potential audience. This should have been death to her career right at the beginning. As soon as all the shills and all these people started slagging off the quote-unquote fans, it should have been death to the company. Or at least it should have at least been treated with some degree of taboo. You do not do shit like that, You
can if you got money.
Apparently Disney and whatnot have too much bloody money.
I don't know. I think it was just not enough people paying attention to what was going on and putting their faith in the wrong people, which can happen.
Yeah.
I just you're right, but you're totally right, Nick. As soon as they saw what kind of the way that the creatives were reacting, actors, directors, writers, producer, was acting toward the fan base when met with criticism, someone should have taken notice of that, and then Solo happening. I don't know.
Well, consider that she has fired or lost more directors than any other producer in history.
Well, if she was putting together competent films and competent series, and so, then I'd be like, okay, then she understood that there was an issue and that it needed to be corrected. It's just that isn't the case. It's kind of been the opposite. We could sit here and say, what if? Who knows if Colin Trevorrow would have written something better? Who knows if he would have produced something better? We don't know. It's too late to know.
Well, from the leaked scripts that we saw, and we don't know if those are verified yet that I know of, but taking it from people that have told me they are the leaked scripts. It definitely would have been something different that would have not alienated new fans and would have brought old fans back to it for the final movie.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I got never mind.
You're going to interrupt me. Speak.
My son is making dick jokes about me on Facebook. I'll be right back. Okay, this is not.
Oh, you're such a dick.
This is not cool. I'll be right back.
That's so awesome. What about you, Lethal?
I don't believe any of this. I don't think any of this is happening. And I think when it's all said and done, they're going to look at Kathleen Kennedy and go, wow, you brought a lot of people to our Disney Plus streaming service.
Right. Do you think there's any chance they re-sign her for an extended year or something like that?
Yep.
Well, she's going to get soft extensions through the end of Indiana Jones 5, and then I think that's pretty much the end of the run.
But how long will that be? That's another couple years.
It depends on how many more people they go through. Yeah. They already lost Steven Spielberg. She's not an effective leader. Anybody who thinks that she's an effective leader obviously isn't paying attention. But hey, what do I know?
And that's a problem, I think, too, is that it's not just the fact that she's there as an executive producer and president and all that. The problem is that does this corporate culture understand what fans want? I could really care less if there's a shakeup or not. I care more about the content.
Right.
And are they changing their perspective on it? I think with The Mandalorian, we saw it, not only The Mandalorian, but the spinoffs suggest that they're getting the message that we actually do care about the original stories and original characters. And some of the new stuff that they sort of took a chance on isn't profitable, or at least not as profitable as they thought it would be. Are they learning that lesson? And my concern is that they're not, because what we're seeing is that some of the writers for their projects are the same writers who screwed up other stuff. Like, for example, in the upcoming Willow series, they hired the writer from Solo. And this is the same guy who's going to be working on the Indiana Jones film. So it's just, they keep making the same mistakes. They one step forward, two steps back situation.
Right. Raging Rhino has a GoFundMe that's still active, I believe. So I am going to make sure Raging Rhino is a mod, and he can put that GoFundMe in the link so people can check that out. Because he's only a quarter of the way there. He's very grateful, but let's try to get him all the way there, people.
And do what you can. Do what you can, people. I mean, if you see it on social media, just put it out there. I mean, sometimes all of us needs help, you know, and Raging's been there for us. He's given us great content. He's been supportive of everyone in the community. I've been trying to remember on my shows to promote that Raging. I apologize for when I have not. But, you know, even if you guys can't give, sharing it out, that made me that made me the difference. So thank you guys very much.
A little goes a long way, especially if we all pitch in.
Yeah.
Yes. Nick, well put. I will be supporting that on Friday myself because of payday. And Raging
and he'll
Rhino
still have his testicles that Friday.
I still will on this Friday.
It'll be manly monies, Raging.
It will be manly money, no matter how little I can give.
It won't be like male femme money.
Male femme money. You are so scared of your own masculinity, aren't you, Stephen? Yeah, strong. You're adorable. Is there any more of this shit show of an article?
Well, yeah, of course. We just never make it through them.
I know. I love it.
No.
All right, let's read a little bit more and see where we get.
As for why they want to remake the sequel trilogy, Doomcock says, many at Disney feel there is too much invested in the sequels to just get rid of them totally. These people believe that retconning the sequel trilogy has many advantages. They can fix the treatment of Luke Skywalker, redeem him after the disgraceful way Ruin Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy ran him into the ground. And, as a bonus, the remakes would be content for Disney Plus.
Yeah, man, I think Scott's balls did something to your mic because you sound really, I don't know, you sound strange. Am I the only one getting that?
Like it's muffled. Like he's muffled a little bit with my balls.
Something in your mouth.
Yeah, a little bit. While he's unmuffling his mouth with, I guess, my testicles, please make sure to subscribe, first of all, to me, if you haven't, and then to everybody else on this panel. Everybody here is great. If anybody, there's a couple faces that are new. Thank you for being here. You probably came over to see the Lethal Lightning, and I appreciate it. So
Lethal has man balls.
He has really big ones too. I heard Steven talks about them all the time.
Lethal, they don't call him the long dong for nothing.
Exactly.
I'm my big dick brother from down under.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what?
You should see the size of his microphone.
Oh yeah. All I can say is drunk 3PO might have had Gina Carano, but you had award-winning porn actress on your site, and that just says a lot more to everybody.
Wow, wow, Mike. I was gonna go with the Lethal. Do you have a big black Mike 2 thing? But dig that grave, brother.
If I had known Lethal was here, I wouldn't have clicked.
Ryan Canal, what a man.
I hope he chokes on his food.
You don't like porn stars, Ryan?
No one likes Ryan.
Oh snap!
Well, that's a personal question, Steven.
I like Ryan. I think he's a fine young man.
Here we go.
He's a fine young man.
You know what? Lethal, he does this anytime someone with more than 2,000 subs is near us. He likes to, I don't know, fluff them a bit.
Hey, every time Culture says like a phrase from 1950, we should give him a Werther's original.
Dude, I like better, Scott. What the fuck is your problem?
Watch him unwrap it slowly.
Oh wow!
Oh, we got drunk 3PO gaming. I hear everything, Scott.
Culture's hair blowing in the wind as he unwraps his Werthers.
As he unwraps his Werthers and takes out his teeth and just slide that sucker right in there.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I got a jet, Scotty. It's about that time, my brother.
No worries, bud. No worries. All right, let me give you the spotlight and let them know where they can find you.
I'm headed over to my channel, Etepo Queen's the place to be reviews. We're going to go rogue in about 15 minutes. Myself, Finaldeathstar, Nick Glenn from Echo Base Network, my co-host Tony Tone Deaf and Fat Steven Seagal beat up Batman, Ryan Johnson, and basically the whole Justice League will be joining us tonight. So after this is over, come on over at your leisure and join us.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate
And
it.
tell Final Death Star I can never get him on one of these shows, but hey, that's great. He goes on everybody else's.
Isn't his name like the Unfamiliar Nethers or something now?
It's Enter the
Yeah.
Unfamiliar Death Star Final Nether Regions. I don't know, something like that.
Enter the Unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Is
What
this
do we
culture
got
going to
going
brush his
here?
hair for everybody
Hold
now?
on, what do we got going here, guys?
That is awesome.
You need a fan, like blowing your hair, in one direction.
God, that is good.
Pre-recorded.
Oh my God, you got me on that one. I was like, he changed his shirt and everything. That was
That's
impressive.
hilarious.
Way to
I
take
WandaVisioned
Etep's
that.
glory there. I like it.
Of course, easy to do. And I'm glad you did it.
Wow.
All right, here we go. And even better, even if they recast everyone with the possible exception of Adam Driver, they could recycle.
Why would he be the exception?
Oh, they messing with one of Jane's white boys.
I'm just asking the question.
I don't know, Jane. Maybe that's
Is it
something you need to
because
check up
he's
on.
pro-military?
No, but what they're saying is the exception would be Adam Driver. They would replace everyone but him.
Oh, sorry, I misread.
I just don't understand why would he be special?
I don't know, because honestly, like I've never had a problem with the cast themselves. The movies that sucked. I like Adam Driver.
I love him. He's great.
Yeah. And the guy is an excellent actor.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley. Yeah, whatever. She is. She's an attractive young lassie.
I truly believe she did what she could with what she was given. And just because they dress you in a sackcloth doesn't, that's not all of what she was, and had they not tried to force the romance in the third movie of probably one of the most abusive relationships we've ever seen on screen,
Lord.
maybe it would have been okay.
They could have done it better, but I wasn't totally against it.
You weren't against the Ike and Tina representation on the screen?
They just need to build it up better.
I don't think that's what that was.
Really?
Okay.
Didn't get like a War of the Roses vibe?
I think people are making that argument because they don't like so much of the film and the storyline and the characters. But we've seen, the Jedi mind trick thing done before. I mean, all of the characters have done it. It's not... I just don't see that as abusive.
Oh, it was abusive, though. It's just her idea of how quickly she turned to being like, I hate you. I'll never like you too. He's kind of hot.
I mean, far be it for me to think anybody that likes a little force choking in bed, would be down with that. But
they rushed it. I agree with you. I think they rushed the story. They didn't
rushed
do it right.
Yeah.
There was no
the idea
story.
that he couldn't be but I guess I disagree with that idea that he couldn't be redeemed or
Was
redeemed
he?
in her eyes. I don't think so, but that's my
Yeah.
point.
Mhm.
Just the argument that the concept of it was problematic is what I disagree with.
Well, Jane, it was
properly.
Yeah, but it was thrown in at the last moment. You have to agree it wasn't part of the original story. It was to honor these this sliver of wackaloons out there that wanted to see them hook up because of some fan fiction thing.
Oh no, I mean
mean,
the whole thing was thrown. I mean, none of it was. The whole thing was.
They had no plan.
Right.
Lethal liked it.
I never actually saw this movie.
What
You didn't miss
we
anything.
post the kissing scene all the time.
Yeah, I've seen that part. I like that.
Okay.
But
all right.
Shane, Anakin murdered babies, and
Made
he's
it.
still one of my favorite characters.
They deserved it.
And if you also
Wow.
consider too that Rey sort of reversed the
No.
mind probe onto Kylo as well.
I've
Right,
noticed
and
a
then
So
she-
if,
trend
you,
with
if,
Jane.
you're going by your own standards, so technically she mind quote unquote abused him too.
Oh no, there was way more abuse happening in that than just that particular scene. I mean, you just romance doesn't get born out of fisticuffs with each other every time you see each
Yeah.
other.
Testing what?
I mean, I don't know. In my Wazy art, I'm getting abused by Daisy Ridley. So
And then there is also the reality, and I know this sort of is slightly off topic, but there's also the reality that girls date guys they shouldn't. You like guys that you absolutely should not like. I mean, that happens.
Steven, do you agree with that? You like guys you absolutely shouldn't like?
I mean, I'm on your stream, aren't I?
Oh, damn, that was witty. That was witty. Okay. God damn it.
I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy shows up and force Skype rips my necklace off my neck. I'm not exactly super thrilled with that dude. But whatever. I mean, I don't know.
If it's so badly written, it doesn't make any sense. But
it does. It does.
I'm not against the idea of them.
Yeah, and anyway, the final part of that sentence was that they were going to recycle the toys, and I'm thinking, yeah, because none of those people looked like the toys anyway, so it wouldn't freaking matter. Some faceless other person could be whatever character you cast. It doesn't really matter. They did a shit job on the toys. Freaking sucks.
Scott, you want me to read something?
Yeah, you're going to read that article, but read this. This was sent to me by Stig Kenobi, saying it's proof that they will never redo these.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do them either, Stig.
No.
Right. Can you read that, though, Steven?
While I'm bringing something else up, sure. If my browser doesn't crash, do you have this arc planned out from the very beginning? Specifically, was the appearance of Luke Skywalker revealing that the story was essentially a few years after Return of the Jedi, always a set idea from the jump, or something you arrived on after working with the material? Answer was no. The story unfolded as I wrote it. The Mandalorian inherits a great deal from existing Star Wars stories, and when I write, that context is always a consideration. It became clear that within the established continuity, certain things were likely to transpire. Question: Are you concerned, having placed a story right in the midst of the saga with the latest films having revealed Skywalker's future, that you're at all penned in narratively? The answer was, we have a tremendous amount of freedom afforded to us because of the gap in time between the films. Dave Filoni and I are in constant discussion regarding how each story choice is impacted by and would impact the existing Star Wars material.
Now, so that was
things. Oh my God.
Right. That was Favreau. Okay. And a lot of people are saying that goes to show you that they will never redo the sequel. I say that it really doesn't. It does. You could read it that way, or you could read it as.
No, I'm with you there, Scott.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm with you on that one. It is a bit vague on that matter,
right?
So, I think Filoni and Favreau might indeed use the time gap to their advantage, and may just end up avoiding linking anything to the sequel trilogy at all.
Well, this is my question, because
right? Even if they don't link it to there, it's still going there. I mean, what about all the comics, the books, the video games that all link into it? You're just going to say they never happened? I mean, nah.
Well, that's the problem, dude. That's the problem. And I'll go to one of my favorite IPs, which is Game of Thrones. That final season, ruined that series, and to me could ruin any other series they make, but I know that there are the books. Now, it's a little bit different with Game of Thrones, the Song of Ice and Fire community, than it is with Star Wars, because the books were never said they're not canon, and the books are what is canon. The show was nice and all for some of it, but the books are where it's really at. So I don't know if Dany's going to burn down King's Landing and become this terrorist so fast. But if she does, I know that George R.R. Martin will get it there the right way. If he makes
Star Wars, he will. Star Wars is like one continuity though. Like it all ties in. Game of Thrones books and TV shows are like separate universes. Yeah, exactly right. It's never happening. I think people want it to happen because they're still invested. But if you take a step back and actually look, I mean, I'm on the outside, and I can see it's not happening.
But does Disney respect the continuity? Do they care? Do they really care?
No, they don't care. That's not a reason.
No, but what I'm saying is, I don't see anything stopping them from making as much content as possible. And if that includes remaking stuff just for the hell of it, there's nothing stopping them from doing that.
And I'm pretty sure they can afford to as well.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, they've got money coming out the wazoo.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to, they would. Or they
Wouldn't you
could.
also
Or
say
they
that
see a
the fact
market
that these
for it.
hey,
Say it again, Lethal.
I was going to say, wouldn't you also say because these are money makers, why would they redo it? They're still
Right.
connecting stuff to these movies. It's still being connected to. Like as we speak, there's content coming out that still connects to it.
Right.
And I
They're
think a
not
lot of
remaking this.
I think that a lot
Star
of the
Wars
push
is
for
dead,
this. Yeah, I think a lot of the push for this, you're right, Lethal, comes from people who are still
You're thinking with
hoping.
your heart, not your head.
Yeah,
with your heart.
I
And
will
also,
admit that I've still got a little bit of hope.
well, and also we've also seen positive aspects of a fandom, pressing for something, like with the Snyder Cut, for instance, asking
With the
for it.
Snyder Cut, we had something to work with, Lo. There was tangible stuff that we had to work with. Whereas with this, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing anything that's actually that you can point to anything and go, what about this?
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying that people like thinking with their heart and hoping that if they just keep that pressure on, that a difference can be made.
Oh, it absolutely can. But I think this is a bit of a apples and oranges.
I don't think it'll ever be the same, but I do think we'll get, just like with The Mandalorian, some occasional scenes that are good, that people like and are excited about. Are we going to get a full series or film that is anything like the original trilogy? Absolutely not. That's never going to happen.
Right.
But they
Real
will
quick.
look for opportunities to make money off of OG fans.
Yeah.
Right. Can we real quick? The Time Prophet's at 98 subs. Can we get him to 100 people? He just needs 2 more. And he wants to know, how does he celebrate if he doesn't do live streams? Do a live stream. Just do it, man.
Yeah, just hold
Why
a
not?
live stream with the people that have gotten you this far, or by yourself, and speak to your audience. And developing a relationship with your audience personally is something that I think every YouTuber should do. I've seen a couple really successful ones do that, and I have to say that when I'm in their chats, I feel like I'm a part of the show. So that's what you should do, in my opinion.
Yep.
I have another question for you. All right. Hypothetically, they do scrap it. Isn't that a bit of a fuck you to their actual fan base, their community? Because their community, their fan base is happy with the direction of Star Wars.
There's really,
They weren't happy with the
much of them,
Mandalorian
though,
ending.
Lethal.
Well, it was enough of them to get Mandalorian to the #1 streaming show and announce all those new shows. I mean,
But that wasn't
like
just
it or not,
them,
their
though.
their fan base likes these movies. So if they
But
do
that
retcon them,
that was not just them, though. That the Mandalorian fan base included a lot of people who liked not only the sequel trilogy, but it also included some OG fans who didn't like the sequel trilogy, but who liked what they were doing in The Mandalorian because it felt more like Star Wars.
but isn't that still a fuck you to them?
What do you think, Ryan?
I have a big question. After them giving us a couple minutes of CGI Luke Skywalker and seeing the reaction of the fan base, do you really think they need to admit defeat and retcon the entire sequel trilogy? I don't think they do.
No.
I think it's pretty obvious that literally all a lot of people need was kind of like that scrap in a lot of ways, because that is what that is like. It's a scrap of food after being starved for so long.
Agreed.
And so many Star Wars fans were ready to like be right back into it just because of that. And I like Lethal said, thinking with your heart instead of your head. And when you look at the things they decided to do in Mandalore, people are running with this thing that you've seen a lot of different places, whether it's from WDW Pro or other YouTubers or whoever, that is like, oh, Filoni and Favreau are actively working to realign the timeline, blah, blah, blah. Listen, Mandalorian goes out of its way to connect to the sequels in several ways, whether it's Baby Yoda force healing, whether it's the random mention of Canto Bite, whether it's sitting here, us looking at these what we expect to be kind of initial Snoke experimentations. Like, it is going out of its way to connect to the sequels in a way that it doesn't have to. And I think when you realistically look at it, would Disney Star Wars want to alienate all of these fans by saying, you know what, we're retconning this shit, this never happened, boom, it's gone? Would they want to alienate the fans that they do have of that stuff? this risk reward proposition in order to try to win back a fan base that they pushed away, when all they need to do is to just play around in this little era post Return of the Jedi, and it seems like that fan base will come crawling back. I don't think they need to do something like that, and I don't think they ever will.
No, I agree with you, Ryan. It's when The Mandalorian came out, the first episode was okay. After that, I said it's like an abused relationship. People were starving for that attention, and they got it. So they were like, "Oh, Star Wars is saved." Well, no, it isn't. It's still not that. I'm sorry, it's not that
Stockholm syndrome.
It is, but they wanted.
It's not saved, and they did use Mandalorian to basically try to fix the Rise of Skywalker and that whole sequel trilogy, just like they have everything else that's come out since, has been trying to correct the problems in that series. But I do think, we can tell from the spinoffs that they recognize they can't go forward without us entirely. They have to do something. And a lot of fans do like, Rebels and the Clone Wars and the things that are inspiration for these spinoffs. So, and the Mandalorian for that matter. So are they going to retcon it? Not necessarily, but I wouldn't put it past them, because at the end of the day, they're just in it for the money. And if they need the money, then why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they remake this when they remade everything else they own?
Do you think that's why they did the one Rogue One spinoff, is because a lot of people have said in the past few years that was the only Disney they liked?
Right. Yeah.
What do you
mean? There's that,
Cassian
there's that
Andor?
one that Andor one. Is that like what Jayne just said? Really, these spinoffs are pretty much just pushing what people have said. Okay, we don't like the sequels. A lot of people liked Rogue One. A lot of people like The Mandalorian. So let's just go from there, because what is the point of that Rogue One spinoff? Like, there's no point for that one, but yet they're doing it. Is that why they're trying to listen to their fans? I don't know.
Well, it's obvious even to them. They realize that the sequel trilogy was basically a failure, right? So there's a reason that they're playing. The only things they have announced, the only thing they've developed are in this era between the prequels and the, a couple years after the original trilogy, because that's where they still get the nostalgia, right? They're just going to be ignoring. I don't think we're never gonna see at least maybe not for a while, a Rey series or a Finn series or something like that, because they realize people just aren't interested in that unless it's an apology to John Boyega. But the way they can get you with the nostalgia is still these prequel to original trilogy. And that's why everything they have is set in that era. Now, the High Republic is the first thing they've done that's outside of that, right? It's like their first real experiment to try to do a completely new, almost IP in a sense that doesn't have anything to do with Luke Skywalker, or doesn't have anything to do with the Clone Wars. So it's,
and that's how they're treating it too. They're treating it like it's a separate IP altogether, which is just so
like it's original. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's like, to be fair, like that's the way I think they should go about it. With like Knights of the Old Republic and Star Wars: The Old Republic. It's familiar because it's the universe and it might be some planets you're used to, but it's, the things that are happening are with these characters that are completely unfamiliar to you. Right. So that is really the way that it should be. I just think it's very boring. Light of the Jedi it's incredibly boring. It was a bad way to start out this new era.
Yep. Agreed.
Totally. Culture, is that the same article you have up? Or is that something different?
You asked me to bring up an article.
No. I was just asked. I thought Culture dropped it, so I didn't know if he had something different he wanted to share.
Oh no, this is the same. It's the same article. I don't care.
Okay. So we pretty much all agree that they're not going to.
No,
they're definitely not going to do it. They're not. No. They're not going to remake this.
No, everything Ryan said is 100% accurate. They have no reason to. Everything that they have set right now is all on the outskirts. The outer rim of the galaxy. It's they're doing it intentionally. They're sticking in a period of time where they're not going to go up against a lot of stuff. Now, will they set the Will this set the existence of the First Order up? Probably. You'll probably see some of that. But you're going to see some law enforcement established on the outer planets as well, which is why the Book of Fett's kind of important going forward. It's going to be interesting. I think you guys... But at the same time, there's little to no chance they're doing this. I haven't heard anything about it. This is the first I've heard of it. So
right. And how far can they really go in this timeline without affecting the sequel? Like, because how far can you move this ahead?
There's a decent amount of space, and there's a lot of stuff that they can do. Like you said, like Culture said, staying away from the center of the galaxy, right? Yeah. What they're going to do is they're going to do Ahsoka and Bo-Katan and all these people they've introduced, uniting against Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is going to be out in the Outer Rim with his secret fleet, doing all of these things. Just like they're stealing a bunch of content from the old expanded universe. Yeah, and they can do something like that without it. Well, like realistically, I think we all would know there would be some word that would get back to people, but they can do all of it without it being some galactic level event, but they can still make it threatening. So they can use it as an excuse as to why no one ever really referenced this before, but they can also show it happening.
Yeah, they're still essentially they're working their way through mop-up duties with the old stormtroopers and the old outposts and everything else. I mean, that's essentially some of the Ranger stuff you're going to see. Like I said, I mean, and they haven't even launched the 2 other shows. They didn't even talk about two other programs they have in development that are ready to go into production right now. They didn't even talk about those at Investor Day. So, of course, the other one, of course, they did leave off intentionally so they could have the cutscene at the end of the last episode of Mandalorian for Boba Fett.
But yeah.
What's
the other one?
Well, you're gonna see the Night Owls for sure.
Okay.
The Bo-Katan spinoff, but that's gonna happen after next season. But there's
a Night Owl.
That's Bo-Katan's fucking people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's this stuff. I mean, it's nothing. I don't know, man. I think the Ahsoka thing will probably be okay. The Rangers thing is something I was really interested in, but I just heard some things that kind of turned my head around on that.
Wait, what have you heard about that? Because I really kind of was interested in that.
I really, well, I
are the Rangers just basically like space cops?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're establishing essentially an order of marshals, essentially. But the
Marshals,
squadron
that'd be
is the
cool.
thing that bothers me the most. But anyway, I don't want.
Well, because didn't we hear that there's sources that have said, I think even Pedro Pascal might have said that the next season of The Mandalorian there's going to be a bit of a time jump. That's the reason why I'm asking, how much time can they jump? They can't. All right. So this is what 9 years after. Yeah, 20 minutes. That's it. We're done.
Well, I mean, first of all, the next Mandalorian chapter isn't until after. It's not even going into production until after Boba Fett's series is released, which is so weird.
Well, it's going into production in April or May from the last update we got, like this year. So which means it probably will not air at a minimum until spring to summer of 2022, but more than likely they'll probably push it off till the same kind of like winter, late fall release 2022. But that's pretty good indicator that maybe there was something wrong with Pedro Pascal behind the scenes. Maybe they were a little unsure of everything, which is why the Boba Fett series is set to go in its place.
They had some restructuring, they refilmed, they reshot some stuff. I mean, this is not new information, Ryan. You know that. So it's just like,
I don't know. But
Lethal's like, why did you invite me to talk about Star Wars?
I know, right? I think that's
because Scott's a dick.
No, I am a dick, but I also invite Lethal every single stream. Because I want him to be here. Like I would invite you every stream, Ryan, but I scared you block me. So what I do is
I already have.
I know. It's really hard for me to get around that. I have to like make all these mock-up Twitter names as Drunk 3PO Gaming and stuff like that. It's crazy. But I know how much Lethal Lightning loves talking Harry Potter. So I thought I'd bring that up. being a closet Potter fan he is.
Is this an undeserved platform?
Say that again?
Yep, that's right.
An undeserved platform? Really?
Yeah.
Undeserved platform. That's why I want to read this.
This is about the show that's not a show.
Right. Exactly.
This is all about a report that wasn't accurate about a series that got everybody talking about J.K. Rowling.
Yes, I think you might be right there, Ryan. And the point is how they feel. This woman who created a world they love, who didn't really say anything that I perceive as wrong. She spoke her mind, which I thought we're allowed to do. And they're saying fans are just destroying her. So this is one of those things, this series that out of nowhere, that does anybody know if it's real or not yet? I guess it's not, right?
Warner Brothers actually released a statement saying it's not true.
Right. But look at the freaking backs of the attack she's taking for no reason. This gives people opportunities. That's all it takes. Like Gina Carano, like J.K. Rowling's, whenever they have an opportunity to attack somebody, they do. And this article is one of those.
I'm pretty sure in this case, someone was probably feeling bored one day and they decided to write a little article saying, oh, this is in the works. Yeah, no, this is just an attack campaign, I think.
Well, it was instantaneous. As soon as the show was mentioned, Twitter lit up with attacks. She shouldn't earn a cent. Why are y'all giving her a platform? She shouldn't have a show. Let's forget Harry Potter exists. I'm like, y'all are crazy. It was
insane. Real quick, Matt G for $149 with a piece of cake. I'm guessing it was for my birthday. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Let's read the article because it's not the point that this series is.
She's doing is recognizing that biological women exist
and
are different.
You sound like a bigot.
And are different from those who are not.
Right.
Well, she said exist. She didn't say they have basic human rights. So
I'm uncomfortable
pushing it there.
We also have Roger Haynes with the thumbs up as usual, $199. Thank you, brother. What were you going to say, Nick? I didn't mean to.
And it's all mad. I mean, I really do think a lot of them are at war within themselves. Like they love Harry Potter and yet they hate J.K. Rowling. And, there are people out there, crying out how, J.K. Rowling shouldn't be making money off Harry Potter anymore. For fuck's sake, it is her stuff still.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You just wait till the game comes out.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's going to be a whole lot of hoo-ha around that too. And I just want to say, I'm sorry, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're either going to have to completely drop J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter, or you're going to have to accept it because this is her work. She owns this.
Right. It's kind of that Walt Disney discussion we were having backstage. Like, do you separate the person from the art? Sometimes it's hard to do that, but these people don't want to separate it. They want to separate her from her art.
They want to separate her from her money. That's what they want to separate.
Yeah, they're trying to rob her from her own money. And it's like, it's one thing to do it to Disney. I mean, he's dead. But then again, he is
not dead. Don't you dare say that.
His family's still alive, so they still get stuff. But she's still alive. Her name is still on all the contracts and all that sort of stuff. So it's like,
real quick,
she hasn't kept either. That's what they don't like. The fact that, like with Gina Carano, she hasn't backed down and said, "Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm a transphobe." She said, "No, I'm not. I respect all people, but women are not men." Sorry.
Right. Well, Culture Casino thinks I'm wasting our amazing guest's time. He's such an ass kisser. God, for $2. Do you have a better article for these amazing guests? Do you want to pull something out your ass, Culture? Because we'll do it. I swear we'll do it.
But look, it's your show, bro. I mean,
good cop out. Good cop out.
Anyone's ever said about Ryan.
They know where they are.
These guys know I waste everybody's time. Okay. Thank you for the Doomicorn also. All right. So, Steven, why don't you read some of this and see how hateful people can really be?
All right. Transitionist Gendaris, Scotty. So, HBO Max's 2021 strategy has focused heavily on making the old new again, but Harry Potter needs to stay on the shelf.
Wow.
HBO Max's 2021 strategy so far focused heavily on making the old new again with mixed reviews. They announced, it announced it was reviving Sex in the City. Yeah, we need that. Sans Samantha, followed by reports of Game of the Thrones spinoff series. But the latest property reported to have been taken off the shelf is definitely one that should be left alone, Harry Potter. One could argue that this is what streamers were always going to do. Streaming services promised access to their vast catalogs, making it easier to develop new stories for the franchises you already love. The strategy is working out well for Disney Plus, which has a hit series under the Star Wars and Marvel banners. Warner Media uses both Warner Brothers Pictures, which holds the rights to Harry Potter film franchise, and HBO, and original purveyor of prestige TV series. Bringing them together with a big-budget Harry Potter television series was perhaps inevitable. But while the entertainment industry is undergoing seismic shifts last year, so was the wizarding world. As little as 3 years ago, a new TV series would have been greeted with enthusiasm by Potterheads and incredibly loyal fandom. That began to change in 2019 after Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald opened to less than stellar buzz. Despite increasing evidence that actor Johnny Depp had abused his wife, both Warner Brothers and author J.K. Rowling defended him. Meanwhile, there were rumors that Rowling was becoming more reactionary and exclusionary in her beliefs.
Exclusionary?
Yes, go ahead, Jayne.
No.
How is this exclusionary to recognize actual biological women as such?
Yeah, actual measurable biological differences.
I don't
I
understand.
don't think they should be recognized.
It's backed by science, though. It's backed by science.
Yeah, so that's all these keywords, and they talk about J.K. Rowling. They call her a TERF. So trans, exclusionary, radical feminist. So it's when they don't include, like, they're basically a feminist, but they don't include trans women, so male to female trans people as part of the group.
So it's like a gang within a gang?
Yeah, essentially.
Well, is this sort of similar to, because they also hate what they call quote unquote soft feminism too. Is that, I think these two things may be closely related.
All feminism makes me soft.
Yeah, I thought all women were soft.
No, they don't.
Well, real quick, one of my favorite names out there, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for $2 has a super chat of hearts, and I think that's a fox. Thank you, brother. And oh God, I got to read a Toxic Man Flu one because he always gives way too much money, so he gets freebies. Oh, great, Steven reading another article written by an idiot SJW. Yes, thank you, Toxic Man Flu. This is just this. Say that one more time, Ryan, because you really lost me there. What is the terminology again?
So if you ever see the word TERF, so TERF flying around, it's trans exclusionary, I think, radical feminist. So it's feminists who are. This is like if they insult you, this is what they mean. You're a feminist, but you only care about biological women. You don't include trans women as part of that community. So then more woke people than that get upset that you're not including, your, male to female trans people in your victim circle.
Don't they have their own community? Okay. Don't they have their own, like the trans community? Why do they need an extra community?
I don't fucking know.
Okay,
I don't either.
They don't. That's
you have to be everything at once with these people.
They don't want there to be a distinction. They basically want to be able to blur the line, between gender. They don't believe that there should even be gender differences or distinctions. And now they're wanting to blur the line between sex, which historically they did acknowledge as being something separate. But now even that is sort of up in the air as far as they're concerned.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I blame Lethal Lightning.
Yeah, that's a good bet. Let's just blame him.
I'll take the brunt for this one.
All right. All right.
Read
It wasn't until last summer that Rowling really made her anti-transgender feelings clear when she
I think more women need to be cancelled.
Hell, brother. When she released
especially billionaire women.
When she released a lengthy screed on her website outlining her fears of trans activism. For a woman who made billions using the written word, it is shockingly unreadable piece full of pseudoscientific nonsense to dress up undeniable bigotry.
How is it pseudoscience?
I don't
It's
know.
perfectly accepted science.
If you're born with a vagina,
If you take a
I'm
test,
rolling
if
my
you
eyes
take a
so
DNA
hard
test,
right now.
like with Family Tree DNA or Ancestry.com, guess what? It's going to come back recognizing you as male or female. I hate to break it to you.
Well, it's also the one I brought up before, Jane. If an archaeologist looks at bones, are they trying to figure out what 75 genders they're looking at, or are they saying this was a male or this was a female? Like science doesn't change just because society changes. Science is hard fact, not feelings.
Well,
and they just now call it pseudo. What are we in the 1700 witch trials? Like, I'm fucking confused by this shit.
archaeology is the patriarchy, man. Don't fall for it. Right?
Long live the patriarchy.
They are actively trying to change science, though. So many of these have gone into academia that a lot of the journal articles coming out these days having to do with gender are basically skewing in the direction of what they're trying to perpetuate. It's happening. They are trying to change the science.
So does that mean they can go back and say like King Henry VIII was actually a woman this whole time?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he tucked his sack. We have proof.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why he killed all his wives, because his wives were like, "Wait a minute, you have a vagina down there." Like, oh shit!
I don't think they'll go after someone like Henry VIII. They still need cis-het white males out there to slag off.
What was that? Was that Egyptian? What did you say?
Beg pardon?
Was that Egyptian you just said? I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead, Lethal.
No. Yeah, they still need cis-het white males out there to rip to shreds.
Sorry, Nick. He's a dick.
I know.
And Nick said it here first. All right, read a little bit more of this. This is
you sure? Okay. I mean, okay.
Yeah, just
Jane's head's going to explode, and I think
that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was also a pivot to shock her audience. The Harry Potter series was beloved by readers because it preached messages of tolerance and inclusivity. The evil Voldemort and his followers are characterized as believing in wizardry purity, an unstable stand-in for eugenics. Okay. And yet there was a woman credited with turning a whole generation of readers into progressives. Really? Oh. Suddenly and loudly declaring that intolerance was sometimes acceptable. Worse, Rowling hasn't let it go, circling back a few weeks to remind everyone that she's still dedicated to the transphobic cause. What am I reading? What is this? I don't know. I'm never going to this site again.
What are they talking about?
Yeah, I don't know why you guys read all this drivel.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth
your brain.
But like, so she is like J.K. Rowling is very much stands up for everything she kind of says. You know what I mean? If she says, "Hey, listen, I support trans people, but I also don't think that trans women are biological women," that's not like a radical take. It
kind of defeats the purpose too. Like if for instance, a lot of people, especially SJWs, like to say, "Oh, trans women are women." But the thing is, and by women, they mean cis women. So that's, those who identify as the gender they were, quote unquote, assigned at birth.
Assigned?
Yeah, assigned, as if someone can, wave their hand and go, "Oh, you're a boy. You're going to be a boy."
Mr. Potato Heads?
Anyway, yeah, exactly, like Mr. Potato Heads. Anyway. Yeah, so the thing is, it completely defeats the purpose. If you say a trans woman is no different to a cis woman, well, then it completely destroys the purpose of trans.
Well, it's all about it's all about changing people and making for instance, if you say I don't want to date a trans woman, now you're a bigot, right? Because she's a woman. What do you mean you won't date her? Aren't you straight? Yeah, but I don't want to date a trans woman, right? And it becomes this whole thing.
Yeah,
So that's part of the reason that they're trying.
A lot of people are trying to muddy the water here, but the thing is, I've had this conversation with my brother too. The thing is, once you start muddying the water regarding gender and biology, you also inadvertently, I really do think it is inadvertent, you actually muddy the water regarding sexuality as well. Because if you can't define man and woman or male and female, well, suddenly there's no such thing as lesbians, gays, bisexuals. But that's a
I just like coochie.
I just got so confused. I came up twice. That was so weird. All right. Yeah, it's look, we could argue about this forever, and we're never going to change any of their minds. I personally think that one of my guests, when we had Kiri on, Kiri Howard, she put it best. Like, she doesn't expect people to believe what she believes, but she expects people just to respect that she is who she is, and she'll respect their views. And that's how we should go about it. It's these people that feel like you have to force the change. Like J.K. Rowling's, because you believe what you believe, we have to force you out. We have to destroy your life until you bow down to us. That's what I'm fucking sick and tired of.
And the crazy thing is that J.K. Rowling is fucking woke. J.K. Rowling is an SJW. This is the one thing that she doesn't agree with this other sect of woke losers on, right? Like she is the one who posthumously turned Dumbledore gay. She is the one who tried when they decided to cast a black Hermione. She said, "Oh well, that's perfectly fine. Nothing says Hermione can't be black. Why are you so bigoted?" Right. When she's the one that wrote that Hermione's pale face, blah 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 blah, in one of her books. Like J.K. Rowling is an SJW, but this is the one thing that doesn't align with all the other values on. So now she must be canceled. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and the thing is, she doesn't really
swim in those waters. So.
She's never said anything negative about transgender people either.
She said that they don't have periods, Jane. That's literally all she said. She said that trans women don't have periods.
Yeah, that sounds like a bigot. Yeah.
And they lost their minds.
The thing is, she's coming from. The thing is, no one is actually communicating with each other correctly. Like in the mind of an SJW, trans means ABC, and it's pretty much everyone else. Trans means XYZ, and no one is on the same page, it seems.
Well, if you're not on their page,
like that,
you're not on the right page.
Different definitions to everyone else.
Hey, look, everybody can be wherever they want to be. I just don't want to bang anything that either has a dong or had one. That's all. That's it. That's where I'm at.
But I do think, it seems to me like they're just doubling down too on trying to change what it means to be male and female. And that's problematic. It can be damaging, I think, to society when you start screwing around with the very foundation of what it means to be family, what it means to have community,
nuclear family.
Nuclear family, exactly. And just the entire, I don't know, humanity has survived all these years with this construct in place of male and female.
Yep.
And they don't even try to broaden the definition of male and female either.
At the end of the day, I don't really care what someone wants to do personally. If someone wants to do something individually that will make them feel better about themselves, I don't really give a shit. But when it starts coming
encroaching on everyone else.
When you start trying to tell me how I need to speak, when you start trying to tell me how I need to feel, when you start trying to tell me all these things, listen, if you haven't looked into male to female transitioning, you will, and you will understand that there's something about that. That's not something that I consider feminine. When you turn a dick inside out, push it up inside someone, and then have to put something in there for the rest of your life to make sure that your wound does not close. I'm not even fucking around. That's what it is.
Ryan, that's enough.
I know.
I didn't know.
Just keep it the dog.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's what I mean. So if you look into it, it is like it's just not something that I consider to be biologically female, and that's my position on it. And when you try to start controlling everything, that's when there's blowback. When you try to control people's thoughts and their speech and how they should feel about it.
So I want culture.
Yeah, I want culture to say what he needs to say. But right there, Ryan said, like, he doesn't care what you do with your own body. But let me explain this. Now, an SJW would just cut off what I cut off the part where you say, I don't care what people do, do your thing. I'll respect that. And they'll just hear the part where you just explained what they're actually doing. And they'll take that as a bigoted thing. And that's what pisses me off. What were you going to say?
Look up dilation. That's all I'll say.
No, fuck you.
Oh, God. I looked up blue waffle once. I'm never doing something like that again. What were you going to say, culture?
Well, here's the thing. There's something in a relationship that speaks to a biological imperative to continue on, life on this planet. And so if you are with a partner and were formerly not, but then are, or you were, but then are not anymore, you're creating a problem that maybe the reproduction, which is, I don't know, part of a loving relationship for many people in the world, that person should be informed about, very well informed about any business that went on with your business. So we have a problem. Science, we can do a lot of things cosmetically, but there's a certain science to the other biological processes that don't exist for those people. So we have a problem. If you're unwilling to identify yourself one way or another because you want to date somebody that's biologically the way that they were to begin with, because when you go to try to have kids, they should know that from the very moment you date them, or even before.
So that's falling into the matter of honesty as well.
Yeah. I mean, these people are wanting, people to be deceitful. You can't enter into that kind of a relationship if you're trying to have one with that kind of deceitful means. I mean, if it's a dirty hookup, whatever. But if you're trying to have a relationship, which is, usually started by some form of dating, right? So
are we speaking from experience, or I'm just asking?
$5 super chat from Crazy Eyed Jedi that I missed. I'm so sorry, buddy. I don't get many. I don't know how I missed that. Thank you so much. A female Punisher, be easy. Just call it housewife. If you're married, you'll laugh. Wives can be brutal. What the fuck is going on? I love this place. Thank you, Crazy Eyed Jedi. Listen,
hey, Ryan's done hearing us talk about.
Oh, sorry, Ryan.
Yeah, he's done. He can't hang.
I do have to leave. I can't hang. I got a little more in detail than I think anybody else. Honestly, if you want to scar your eyes forever, look up transgender dilation.
No,
Lethal's already got it fat to it, I think. So,
got it.
Hey, Ryan, when I get my new computer and I could actually have people on their own, like on video, I'd love to have you back in like a few weeks to a month. So I'll hit you up later, man. But I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no worries. I heard you talking Star Wars about these rumors, so I'm always up to speak up because I think there's a lot of Star Wars rumors going around right now,
and they're most of them are garbage.
Yeah, yep. Almost all of them are garbage, and I think that for the most part, if you see anything with the words WDW Pro anywhere near it, I think everyone should be a little skeptical right now, regardless of anything that's happened in the past. But I do appreciate you having me on, guys, and I'll talk to you later.
No, man, anytime. Thanks, brother. Have a good one.
Bye.
See you later.
Take care, Ryan.
Bye.
Hey, Roo.
All right.
God, he's so good looking. Those muscles.
Jesus.
Yeah,
just a little harder.
Yeah.
You're talking about me, right?
Yes, of course you. And
every day,
Lightning. Lethal Lightning's just an attractive man with that accent.
Culture, can you read that other article?
Well, we're
But
doing
our-
this last article. We
Okay.
changed it up because Walt Disney, I don't care if he's racist or not right at the moment. I do want to talk about Keira Knightley saying she won't shoot nude scenes with male directors, which is just
We're not covering the destruction of women's sports either.
That's because my future ex-wife only wants to shoot nude scenes with me.
Well,
I have a question about this.
It's just so weird.
Okay.
though.
I honestly don't see anything wrong with this.
I don't
I
think
think
she looks
it's
like the
really
same
up to her.
person.
From what I understand, when they shoot these scenes, there's so many people around. There's so much going on. Like, it's not romantic in the least.
No,
Is there a
it's
fluffer?
a job.
Yeah, it's
A
just
lot
a
of
Go
job.
ahead,
people-
Lethal. What are you going to say?
I know a lot of girls that would rather, when they have to see a doctor and, like, hey, the doctor actually has to have a proper look at you, if you know what I mean. They would
Mhm.
much prefer it was a female instead of a male.
Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with this. Okay.
Well, this is what it's the way she put it. It's the way she put it.
What did she
Like,
Is
say?
it the
they're
way
not-
she put it, or is it the way the article wrote it?
Okay,
that's
well,
the other
it's
problem.
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's just because we know for sure that the Hollywood Reporter writes a lot of crap, including the stupid story about the frickin' Warner Brothers, considering the thing we were just talking about, shooting a new Harry Potter TV series, right? So,
Right.
they're the tabloid version of Variety or Deadline at this point. But anyway, we can go forward.
I
What
feel
did
like
she
a lot
say?
of times. Oh, sorry, I'll be quick. I feel like a lot of times, it's the way things are written is what puts people in
Yes.
a bad light.
Well,
You go through a lot of things and go, okay, did she actually say that, or did they spin it?
Well, I'm
it's
wondering if it was a quote.
Well,
It's
let's see.
activist journalism. I will read the article and you can all decide. Here we go.
Okay. It's a quick one.
It's partly vanity, and also it's the male gaze, said the actress who has had a no nudity clause in her film contract since becoming a mother. Keira Knightley has revealed that she won't shoot nude scenes for films with male directors. I don't have an absolute ban on filming nude scenes, but I kind of do with men. I kind of do. She told Chanel Connects podcast. It's partly vanity, and also it's the male gaze. While the 35-year-old said she acknowledged the need for nudity in films, she said she didn't want to be those. She didn't want it to be those horrible sex scenes where you're all greased up and everybody is grunting. I'm not interested in doing that. I understand that.
Okay.
Keira Knightley added,
Paul.
I mean, she said she doesn't want to do a porno. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I
all right.
get that. I get
well,
that.
I mean, you can do a lot of simulated sex stuff that does require a little bit of anyway. Keira Knightley added,
real quick, like Monsters Ball. I mean, you got Holly Berry
Which was
and
terrible.
Billy Bob Thornton, and that is like a vicious sex scene. Like it's just, it's raw. It's just weird. It's just uncomfortable. But
Yeah, you spat
Like,
into it.
it was part. Well, who has
It
it?
should
It's
never
part
been shot.
of what? I'll make me feel good.
It was a
It
sickening
is.
scene.
It was a sickening scene, but it was meant to be that awkward, weird, like, what is going on? This is wrong. Like, sometimes the movie calls for that. Now, is she saying if a female director did that, she'd be able to do it? Or if it's just the male gaze that's making her, that's where I don't know. I didn't read enough of this yet because it just came out right before, we were going on.
I think she's talking about how it's shot and the angles and things like that. But I mean, if you don't want to do it, just don't do it. I mean, who
Yeah.
cares? I don't know why it has to be in an interview or in an article. Like every
well,
actor should make their own decision and then
As
just
if
put it in
she's
their
doing
contract.
something brave.
Well, it's already in. If it's already in her contract, I mean, and again, you don't know in what context the question was asked. We have to go and actually consume the podcast to actually understand the context of this conversation. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're right.
did they say, "Hey, how come you didn't want to be in 50 Shades of Grey"?
I feel like this type of stuff, the old saying, sex sells in any possible way. So it's, she won't do a sex scene. We can get an article out on that.
Man,
And all
Right.
she has to say is, "I'm a mom. I don't want to do
well,
it." The
that
end.
too.
Or I
Yeah.
put in enough. Look at in Game of Thrones, you had early seasons with Emilia Clarke being completely nude, and by the end she had enough power and time in where she could say, no, I'll decide if I want to be nude. Like, that's all she had to say. I'm Keira Knightley. I've been around for a long time. I could decide when and when I don't want to be nude. Right. It's that added male gaze quote that says, like, if men are like that male gaze, like they're looking at you, they're professionals. This is their job. And you're making it seem like, oh, they're just staring at me, making me feel uncomfortable. That's how I read it. Okay, maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Yeah, that's not what that phrase refers to. It's not the guys in the room looking at her. What she's talking about is that phrase refers to a particular manner in which something is shot.
So post-production, the way it looks on screen. Okay. Right, exactly. Okay. Let's finish this article real quick.
This seems like one of those articles where it's like we can get people riled up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really, you're absolutely right. That's all news is, if you can even call it news.
Well, Lethal, you need to understand something when you come on this show. These articles, he just sends them to us and we read them and talk about them.
Yeah, I don't read any of them. I just read headlines.
So you got a team of Lindens. I got that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Well, the way I look at it is it makes it better if I don't know what's going on. I just want to know.
Be surprised with the audience.
Yeah, I want the real deal. When my audience gets the surprise, I do too.
Yeah. Well, and then you're not interested in dating trans people. So anyway, there we go. Keira Knightley added, saying that there's times where I go, yeah, I completely see where this sex would be really good in this film. And you basically just need somebody to look hot. So therefore, you can use somebody else because I'm too vain. And the body has had 2 children now, and I'd rather not stand in front of a group of men naked.
So it is the filming of standing in front of a group of men.
Yeah.
So if it's a group of women, she'd feel more comfortable.
But that's the other thing. In the majority of these, yeah, absolutely, that's true. But in the majority of these, you're actually wearing like stockings around your bits. Dudes wear a sock, and there's if you have to be in these positions. Yeah. Rarely are you completely uncovered, like Emilia Clarke was, as you referred to, Scott. Obviously, you had many a fap to that. But anyway.
Dude, that bathtub scene, I mean, it's art. She looks like a female.
Yeah, there's a worn part in your Blu-ray is what you're trying to say. Well,
all I'm saying is I worn it out. Whatever.
That's what I thought. During the interview, Knightley, who most recently appeared in comedy drama Misbehavior about the women's liberation movement of the 1970s, also explained that if a particular film was focused on female life experiences, she would insist on working with a female director. If I was making a story that was about the journey of motherhood and body acceptance, I feel like, I'm sorry, but that would have to be with a female filmmaker, she noted.
Here we go again.
I see nothing wrong with that.
I do, because if a man said that about a man's journey or something like that, it would be considered sexist.
In this, she said it's sexist. All she said was if she wants to make a movie about womanhood, she'd rather have a female director.
Right. Sexist. So a man could say the same. Could say the same thing.
Exactly. I mean, I could say if I'm going to make a movie about being a father, I'd much prefer that it was a male director.
And you'd get attacked.
Well, where has that happened on this?
Oh, it hasn't. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, but in this
there's always that double standard.
I feel like this is a problem. Like,
okay, in this specific one, you're right. You're right. God, you're hot when you're angry. Okay, go on.
How is it Lethal's the voice of lightning here, Scott? I mean,
I don't know.
How is it Lethal is the voice of reason? My God, I'm losing my mind tonight. I apologize, everyone. If it was about motherhood, about how extraordinary the body is, about how suddenly you're looking at this body and that you've got to know and is your own, and it's seen in a completely different way, and it's changed in ways which are unfathomable to you before you become a mother, then yeah, I would totally be up for exploring that with a woman who would understand that. That is the longest sentence ever written in the history of man. But I feel uncomfortable now trying to portray the male gaze. Trying to portray the male gaze? She's going to try to portray the male gaze? After becoming a mother in 2015, Knightley added a no nudity clause to her film contracts. So what? This is a giant.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with.
Yeah.
I think people are looking at this and wanting to be offended.
Yeah.
Oh no, I get that, but there are parts to it where, like, I'm not talking about her in general. I'm just saying you flip this, and people would be offended, and that's the only thing I'm saying. I don't think she said anything wrong. I agree with her. If you're going to do a journey about motherhood, I mean, wouldn't it be better that a mother directed it? I get that she could, or wrote it at least, but if you flipped it about the journey of, like nowadays, if you were to make a Stand By Me and say, well, I'd rather have a male director, people would get in an uproar. Mm-hmm. Oh, a female can't do a journey about 4 boys, going from young men or from boys to men. Great band. I think there's a lot of hypocrisy. I'm not saying she has done that in this article, but I know there would be an outcry if this was reversed. That's all that bothers me when I read stuff like this.
It's true. I think you're right, but at the same time, there are people they're going to be outraged about anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing that people aren't going to be upset about.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will find offense with this somehow.
They will. They'll get really mad about it, and but they won't tweet about it because then they'll get canceled. But we're gonna end this one pretty soon, anyways. I just wanted to talk about that because when I read. Again, I only read the headlines. It does put her in a bad light. They're looking, maybe not.
Would you say it's clickbait?
It is definite clickbait, man. Yeah. Every article I looked at was more clickbait than this. That's why I grabbed this one. All the rest
more
are making sure
than anything. I guess it's clickbait to whoever might get offended or upset, but at the same time, it's just very generic. Like, who cares?
Yeah, you're spot on. Like.
Yeah.
Right.
If you saw that, you're like, oh, I bet I can find something to be mad about in this.
Well, then that's the thing. I mean, think about it this way. Well, real quick, think about it this way. All the major networks covered this article, so they're looking for that anger, or just to piss somebody off. I'm so sick. Like, how is this even newsworthy that she said this?
It's not.
Maybe they want men to be upset about it. I don't know.
They want people to be upset about it, and people want to look at it and be upset so they can bitch about it.
Yeah. Because if you looked at some of the other headlines, you would be. Because the way they put it. Yeah, go ahead, Culture.
There's so much to legitimately be angry about. Like the all of the attacks that the people that were trying to teach the hedge fund people a lesson are, being attacked, for their efforts to, prop up GameStop and make these raving human beings, have
Gamers rise up
to bail out. Hey, well, it's not just that. I mean, think about it this way. I mean, there's probably 10 or 15 different short position stocks that these major hedge fund companies own, and people are betting against these hedge funds because these are the guys that influence the elections that put us in a position that we're in now. I mean, all of these assholes go to Davos and do all the stuff that it compromises everybody else's livelihood and their lives. And you know what? It's pretty easy to stop them. Make it so that it's not as easy for them to earn money. I mean, like I said, there were a couple of them that had to, take their blankie and go home because, they were really in a bad position on their shorts. So good for them, I mean, and of course, Reddit now closed down their group. And, they're doing everything they can right now to stop this from happening. But these people can continue to do their version of corporate rating. So financial rating in this situation. But that pisses me off. But I'm glad that there are opportunities for everybody to get together and do it again. Because again, it's the only way we're going to be able to, knock these hedge funds guys in the teeth. And they actually deserve it. So
all right. Lethal, next time you're on, I promise to have better articles. I wasn't planning on you jumping on. I'm embarrassed by my show. But I love all you people. You all rock. And Steven left. Sorry, I didn't give him a chance to say goodbye. I really planned that. But we'll do some outros. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. The chat was just out of control and killing it. So thank you, guys. Jayne, why don't you let them know where to find you and if you're working on anything right now or released anything?
Sure. You can find me on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. I did just drop some reviews of Disney's Willow, or at least the news concerning the upcoming Willow series on Disney Plus. So definitely check that out. And a Batwoman Season 2, Episode 2 spoiler review. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jayne Theory.
Nice. Thank you, Jayne. Is the new episode of The Expanse today or tomorrow?
It is tomorrow, I believe.
All right. Can't wait to see that. And one of our guests tonight, Lethal Lightning.
Thanks for having me. It's been a blast. I was glad to finally make it, and shout out to everyone in the chat. You make it all worth it. Much love.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. And again, I just have to say I'm sorry, but it'll be more fun next time, I promise. Nick McCabe, what up, brother?
I had fun.
All right, I'm glad you did.
Yep. Hi, everyone. I am Nick McCabe. I have a YouTube channel, and you can find me there. I'm also most active on Twitter at Mr. MooneyBlue1, and I also have a Minds account. So it's under Nick McCabe, so you can find me there. At the moment, I just have to pull my finger out and get a book review recorded. The book review will be on Star Wars: Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void, so that ought to be fun. So watch this space.
Thank you, Nick. I can't believe I didn't put this on when they kept talking about the male gaze. God, I was stupid. That would have been perfect timing. Thank you, Nick, and Culture Casino.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. Couldn't be here without you. You guys are awesome. Be sure to check out all these amazing content creators. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Also, just a reminder, go check out the GoFundMe that was set up for Raging Rhino. That is a opportunity to give back to somebody who gives so much to the community, guys. And thank you all for being here. Have a great night.
A damn good dude. Just a
Very
damn good
guy.
dude.
Welcome.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Steven. I'm Steven, the author of the Fourth Wave and Fandom Menace, born in the chaps of the High Council with my brothers and sisters, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Steven, for being here. Sorry you couldn't say goodbye. Everybody, be safe tonight, and make sure you don't overreact to articles, because that's what we just learned on that one, and I appreciate everybody actually having level heads. I want to thank Tina Bojan, Who Knew, Jack D, Toxic Man Flu for being my little finger level patrons. To all my other patrons, this one goes out to you guys. We're putting a spork in it because we are done.
Hey, you run the right one this time.
I did run the right one, and I'm pretty hot in this one too. We gotta make sure. You like that, don't you, Lethal? I like that.
That's fucking brilliant.
Thank you so